It was Thanksgiving morning when I was 12. As our family tradition had it, my dad and I had claimed our usual spot on Main Street for the parade. The marching band was warming up, tubas honked, little kids waved foam fingers. That's when I first noticed this guy standing across the street. He was maybe 30 feet away, wearing this brown jacket with the sleeves rolled up even though it was freezing. His forearms were covered in burn scars that were lined up, like someone had pressed hot coins into his skin one by one. Still, that wasn't even the worst part. It was the intensity in his eyes, and he was staring directly at me.
That weird guy over there is staring at me.
I grabbed my dad's arm. Dad looked up from his phone. What guy? I pointed across the street, but he had vanished into the crowd.
He was right there.
Dad shrugged. It's parade day, sweetie. Lots of weird people out today. I scanned the crowd again, but couldn't find him. The parade started, and I tried to focus on the dancers spinning past and the floats covered in fake turkeys, but I had this feeling like someone was watching me through a window I couldn't see. Just then, Dad's phone rang. It's work, he said, stepping away toward the quieter side of the street. I stayed put, surrounded by people, but suddenly feeling completely alone. As the music got louder, someone in a turkey costume waddled past, high-fiving kids. I was watching a little girl chase after him when someone tapped my shoulder. I turned around, and my heart stopped. He was inches away from my face, eyes locked onto mine and up close. I could see his pupils were different sizes. One was huge, swallowing almost all the color. The other was tiny, just a pinprick. I've got something for you, he whispered, leaning even closer.
I don't want it.
I answered, trying to back away. He smiled, flashing his blunt and uneven teeth. Yes, you do, he whispered. Before I could process, his hand clamped around my wrist as he yanked me backward into the crowd. His skin was ice cold, and those burn scars felt hard and raised under my fingers.
Dad!
I screamed, but a float rolled past with speakers blasting, and my voice disappeared into the drums and trumpets. I dug in, but he was stronger. He dragged me through the crowd like it was nothing. People brushed past, bumped into us, and didn't even look twice. To them, we probably looked like a dad hauling his kid out of a meltdown. Stop fighting, he snapped. You're making it worse for yourself. We hit the alley between the hardware store and the barber shop. He slammed me into the brick so hard my teeth snapped together, and I tasted blood. The parade was 50 feet away. I could see people laughing, tossing kettle corn, and snapping photos, but they couldn't see me in the dark gap between buildings. He reached into his jacket and pulled out a butterscotch candy wrapped in cellophane. Eat it, and you can see the others, he said, holding it up to my face.
Let me go!
I sobbed. His face spasmed, like something underneath his skin was trying to get out. Eat it. He loomed over. They all do. That's the rule. He grabbed my face with his free hand. His fingers dug into my cheeks until I felt them scraping against my teeth from the outside and forced my jaw open. The candy pressed against my lips, and I could taste the cellophane dissolving. I thrashed and kicked. My heel connected with his shin. He grunted but didn't let go. I bit down on his finger and tasted blood, but he actually laughed and shoved the candy deeper into my mouth. I was choking on it. The wrapper melted on my tongue, and I could taste something bitter underneath the sugar. My legs went weak, and the alley tilted sideways. Good girl, he whispered. Now we can go to the room. I tried to spit the candy out, but my mouth wouldn't work. He started dragging me deeper into the alley, toward a white van parked at the back. My legs buckled, and I went down hard, scraping my palms raw. The van's back door was open. Inside, I could see chains bolted to the floor, a dirty mattress and plastic sheeting on the walls beside a camera on a tripod, and there were many photographs taped up, covering every surface. All of them were girls my age. All of them had the same blank, hypnotized expression. He was lifting me toward the door when something slammed into him from behind. We both went down. His grip finally loosened, and I rolled away, gasping. "Get away from her!" Dad was on top of him, fist connecting with his face over and over. His blood sprayed everywhere. The man made this inhuman whining sound. I watched my dad beat the crap out of him. The man kept apologizing, saying he thought I was someone else, and coming up with a whole lot of lies, like he didn't mean any harm. People saw us come for help. One of them called the cops while the other took hold of the man so he couldn't run away. My dad hugged me, and for the first time I saw him crying. He kept saying sorry for not believing me earlier. I hugged him too, trying to process everything that happened. Police sirens cut through the parade music. The man was arrested. At the station, they tested what was left of the candy. He had crushed sleeping pills with something else, something the detective wouldn't name but that made him go pale. They found the van, 7 sets of chains, and the photographs. They found his basement, too, with more chains, cameras, and walls covered in Polaroids of young girls of my age. The detective told Dad some of it. It's been years now. Dad made me see a therapist. He did everything he could, but no matter how hard he tried, I still see it in his eyes that he blames himself. He regrets not taking earlier action, so all of these could be avoided. But I know he's my hero. He saved me that day, without wasting a second more. "Still pissing your pants over Granny's spooky bedtime tales?" June asked as we walked through the entrance gates. It was just another Thanksgiving night, and June and I were sneaking out to the Turkey Hollow Fair like we had done every year since middle school. The fair was lit up with orange and yellow lights, fake autumn leaves, and the smell of fried dough mixing with the cold November air. "Shut up," I muttered, but my stomach was already tight with unease. The theme this year was honoring local legends. Every booth had some cheesy decoration about the town's history. When we passed the food stalls, June stopped and started laughing. "Dude, check it out." He pointed at the next booth. There was a broken animatronic butcher drenched in fake blood. He had a cleaver hung overhead, jerking back and forth, with a painted smile fixed on its face. June laughed, but I couldn't. My grandmother's voice was in my head, reciting the same story she told me every Thanksgiving since I was 8. Back in the day, there was a village butcher named Old Ben. One Thanksgiving, he slaughtered his whole family, carved them up, and cooked their flesh into the feast. People didn't realize what they had eaten until it was too late. By then, Ben had vanished into the woods, never to be found again. June grabbed a stick of turkey jerky from the booth. "Want some of Old Ben's special recipe?" "You're disgusting." We wandered around for another hour, hitting the rides and wasting money on rigged carnival games. By midnight, most families had cleared out, except for the teenagers and drunk adults stumbling. "Want to check out the woods?" "What? Why?" "Come on, don't be boring. I want to see if Old Ben's actually out there." The woods started about 50 yards past the last booth. The fair lights didn't reach that far. The second we crossed the tree line, it felt like stepping into a cave. "This is stupid," I grumbled, letting my phone's flashlight punch through the darkness. "Let's head back." "Just a little further," June said. All I could hear were the crickets, dry leaves, and our boots crunching on twigs. As we rounded the oak tree, a whistling crept into the ears. It was faint, off-key, and sounded like a ghost was trying to recall a forgotten lullaby. "Heard that?" I whispered. June stopped, scanning the trees. We waited for a couple of seconds, waiting for something to happen. When it didn't, we resumed walking. We'd barely taken a couple of steps when the whistling resumed, getting louder by the minute. "Dude, that's enough. Let's head back." I gulped. June agreed. We turned around and nearly shit our pants. A man was standing beside the thickest oak tree about 20 feet ahead. His face was unnaturally pale, almost gray in the moonlight. His clothes were dark and soaked with fresh blood that was dripping on the ground. His right hand clutched a butcher's knife, and on his left, he dragged a human leg, severed clean at the thigh, still slick with blood. Flesh showed where the skin had torn and mingled with the dirt, leaving a dark, wet trail behind him. The moment his eyes met ours, we screamed and bolted, never once looking over my shoulder, even though I couldn't see anything ahead. My phone was lost somewhere, and I kept crashing through branches, tripping over roots. The woods seemed endless. Trees loomed out of nowhere, brambles tearing at our clothes and skin. I could hear his quick footsteps behind. He was still whistling, getting closer. That horrible dragging sound never stopped, mixing with the whistling. "This way!" June grabbed my arm and pulled me left. We burst through a bush and found ourselves on a narrow path I didn't recognize. I glanced back, and he was right there, maybe 15 feet behind us. His face was clearer now in patches of moonlight. His skin was pulled too tight over his skull. Eyes were bulging like they would jump out of his sockets. "Run!" June screamed. My lungs were on fire, and my legs felt like they were about to give out. June was faster, pulling ahead. For a horrible second, I thought he was going to leave me. I turned back and saw the man had dropped a leg on the ground. Oh no, he was going to run now. I pushed harder than I'd ever pushed in my life. Branches whipped across my face. My ankle rolled on a root, but somehow I stayed upright. I could hear him breathing right behind me and could smell copper mixed with something rotten. "There!" June pointed ahead. We were close to the fairgrounds. As we kept running, impossibly strong fingers grabbed the back of my jacket, yanking me backward. I twisted out of the jacket, heard it rip, and threw myself forward. Adrenaline pumped in my veins as I burst out of the tree line into the fair's back lot. People were still around. Carnies broke down booths, and a few stragglers were headed to their cars. I turned around, gasping, expecting to see him emerge from the woods. But he didn't. Did you see? June was doubled over, hands on his knees, face white as paper. "He almost got me!" We stood there for a long while, staring at the tree line. Several carnies walked past without even glancing our way. My jacket was gone. My arms were covered in scratches. June's shirt was torn, and he had a cut above his eye bleeding down his face. "We need to call the cops," I said. "Tell them what? And we saw old Ben in the woods with a human leg?" We ended up calling the cops, but they didn't take us seriously. Said we were drunk, making up stories. Told us to stop wasting their time and go home. But we know what we saw and survived. Old Ben isn't a legend. He's out there in those woods, waiting for his next victim. After dating for 8 months, my girlfriend Ursula asked me to meet her family at Thanksgiving. The drive took 3 hours through the mountains. Throughout, Ursula kept checking her phone and biting her nails. "Are you nervous?" I chuckled.
What? No. I'm just meeting them after a long time, that's all.
Before I could grill her, we pulled up beside this massive Victorian house, sitting alone in the valley. Her father greeted us at the door, wearing a black suit.
Dad, this is Gary.
Ursula said. He shook my hand tight enough to hurt. "Welcome." His voice was deeper than I expected. But his wife, Mrs. Hartley, was the complete opposite. She took my coat with this huge smile and couldn't stop talking. Her eyeballs were always restless. Ursula took me to meet her grandmother. The old woman sat in a high-backed chair by the fireplace, hands folded, eyes locked on nothing. "Hey, Grandma," I greeted. She didn't respond and just kept staring ahead.
She has dementia and doesn't really interact anymore.
Mrs. Hartley stayed in the kitchen while Ursula gave me the tour. The house was spotless, filled with expensive decor. We stopped in front of a portrait in the hallway of an old man with sharp features. He stared down at us from the frame with the coldest eyes I'd ever seen. He was wearing a dark suit, and his smile made my skin crawl.
That's Grandpa.
Ursula said.
Cardiac arrest took him 3 years back, during the Thanksgiving dinner.
Jesus, I'm sorry.
Don't be. He was traditional. Everyone was terrified of him.
She paused, staring at the portrait.
Sometimes I think he still runs things around here.
What do you mean?
Dinner's ready.
Mrs. Hartley's voice cut through before Ursula could answer. The dining room table was filled with all kinds of foods: roasted turkey, shepherd's pie, cherry cake, mashed potatoes, and stuffed veggies. I felt a rumble in my stomach right away. I was about to sit when I noticed 6 chairs instead of 5. Ursula probably sensed my confusion and whispered,
We always keep 1 chair for Grandpa. Traditions.
Even though it was weird, I brushed it off and jumped straight onto food. Mr. Hartley carved the turkey in complete silence. Grandma just kept smiling at nothing, and Mrs. Hartley wouldn't stop talking. Let's say grace, Mr. Hartley urged. Everyone joined hands and the ceremony began, but I couldn't focus. My eyes kept drifting to the empty chair, and I began to feel it wasn't empty at all. Heavenly Father, we thank you for this meal, for bringing... Suddenly, the lights cut out all at once. The windows slammed open, letting the freezing wind tear through the house.
We forgot the candles!
Mrs. Hartley shrieked, already sprinting toward the kitchen. Mr. Hartley followed. Ursula hesitated, looking at me with wide, terrified eyes.
It's fine. I'll be back,
she said, but her face looked distressed. Ursula ran after her parents, and I was left to sit there in the darkness, lit only by moonlight. That's when I realized I was still holding Grandma's hand, and she was still smiling, staring at me.
He likes you.
She whispered in a voice too steady for a dementia patient.
Grandpa likes you. He's been waiting to meet you, Gary.
I tried to pull away, but her nails dug into my skin like claws.
He's sitting right there.
She pointed at Grandpa's empty chair. The cushion was definitely compressed now, and on the white tablecloth, I could see bloody handprints that weren't there a few moments back. Suddenly, I heard breathing above me. I looked up, and my brain just stopped working. Something that looked like a human, but wasn't a human, was hanging from the ceiling. Its fingers and toes were dug in like a spider. Gray skin was stretched over bone, while eyes glowed yellow. It spoke to me in a demonic voice. "Welcome to the family, Gary." I screamed and fell from the chair. I ripped my hand from Grandma's grip, tearing skin, and bolted. Behind me, that thing dropped from the ceiling with a wet thud that shook the floorboards. I ran straight to the front door and fumbled with the lock. My hands were shaking so bad I could barely grip it. I looked behind and saw a corpse-like figure standing on all fours just a few inches away from me. It is smiling and drooling. The moment the lock turned, I threw myself out into the freezing night. I was halfway across the gravel driveway when I heard Ursula calling me back.
Grandpa likes you, Gary. He won't hurt you. Come back.
I threw myself into the driver's seat and slammed the door. Suddenly, Mr. Hartley came running to my car. "You're offending him! We can't let you leave!" "Yeah, I would rather not be a part of this freak show. I'm leaving." He lunged on my hood and started punching the windshield. His face was filled with anger and desperation. He was punching so hard that at one point the glass shattered from one corner. I somehow managed to start the engine, slammed it into reverse, and floored it. Ursula's father flung to the side as gravel sprayed everywhere. In the rearview mirror, I saw him and Ursula standing in the driveway, watching me leave with disappointed faces. Ursula tried reaching out many times, dropping texts and sending emails, but I blocked her number. She showed up at my apartment too, but I wouldn't open the door.
Gary, please. I need to explain.
I threatened to call the cops and press charges. She gave up, but left one long message about how sorry she was. How she just wanted me to meet him because Grandpa still runs the family. I deleted it. Until today, I spend Thanksgiving alone. I haven't been able to date anyone because I'm scared to trust. Every Thanksgiving night, I sleep with lights on because I'm terrified I will see that horrifying figure latched onto the ceiling, breathing above my head.